Hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today another book review. Today I'm gonna show you the book Mosaic Crochet Workshop by Esme Crick. Esme Crick is also known as Red Sparrow Crochet. She's also a part of Scheepjes. And she has her own book. And I decided to do a book swap with her through David and Charles, the publisher. She got Crochet Journey from my side and I got Mosaic Crochet Workshop from her side. And I'm really happy to explore this book together with you because I also haven't seen anything about it yet. So let's start. And first of all, I want to talk about the book in general. It's a really pretty large book. It's pretty big in my opinion. My book is a little smaller, but it's nice. Probably the inside of the book is also very clear because it is a bit larger. And the main thing in this book is to crochet the Mosaic crochet technique and to create very geometric patterns with it. She created 24 projects in the book with full written patterns and also a chart in it. This also means I'm not gonna show everything in the book because there are patterns in it and I can't show you the exact patterns. But we're gonna discover the book just by photos and everything related to it. Important to say is that this book is made with Mosaic crochet techniques in the interlocking method. I think it wasn't really clear for me in the beginning, as my Mosaic technique, which I use commonly, is the one with using back and front loops, and this one is a technique where you first crochet one row to the left and then you turn and make with the same color a row to the right back. And this sounds really not that clear, but I will explain it later on because we're also gonna crochet a little sample out of the book where I can show you what this technique also means. But it's a different way of Mosaic crochet, and that's very important to know if you want to buy the book or explore it, because you have to use another technique. So that's what I wanted to say ahead of discovering the book. It's a really lovely way of presenting it. I love the typo in it. Of typo, I mean the type of writing in it, the graphic designing. And here we already start with a beautiful overview of how some of the projects in the book are looking, like the small houses. It really reminds me of Amsterdam, the canal houses. I don't know if this is also... Oh, it's the Dutch houses, so yes, I'm right. That's fun. And some other blankets, throws, which are in the book. I also see a pillow. So let's discover. Here is some introduction to Esme, where she tells a little about herself and how she finds her way through life, which is very interesting to read. So probably you have to do this first before starting the book. And here is another beautiful photo of the yes, yes, yes pattern, which I really love. And there is also a very good guide in this book about understanding Mosaic crochet, but as said, it is a different way of Mosaic crochet than I used to, but it's not a difficult way. It's really easy as well, and I also use this technique a lot of times, but you still have to really understand how it works, and Esme is really explaining this very well in the book. Also, the book is a United Kingdom version, so make sure the stitches named and written in the book are UK based. So A single crochet is written as a double crochet, and a double crochet is written as a treble crochet. Make sure to also take that in mind for anyone outside of the UK. The stitch definition abbreviation is definitely different, so also very important to know. Here are some swatching examples and some materials and tools information, and as you can see there's a lot of skeepjes in it, which I'm of course loving a lot because I also work a lot with these kinds of things. And Color Crafter is also the yarn you see over here. Well, but for sure there is no need to take skeepjes, as all these ranges of yarn can also be displaced by another brand with the same type of yarn. That's why she also made a very clear way of which thickness of yarn you take for which throw or blanket. Then we have some stitch definition and color consideration, which is also a very good thing to add to a book, because you have to take in mind with Mosaic Crochet that there's always needs to be a contrast. You can't take two light colors or two dark colors together, because you won't get the geometric pattern the way out of it you want it to be. Always make sure they're really switching up, like black and gray, or very pink bright with dark red. You see it in all her examples already, that the twist between two colors are very different, and if you won't do that, this whole Mosaic Crochet technique is not working out. So she made a really clear statement about that, which is really great. So also make sure to read this as well. And then we have the project page, where you can already see which designs are all in it. And this page really reminds me about an old stitch book out of the 70s, 80s, where you can see all those patterns you can make in an overview. And this is what I really like. You can see in one look what you can also expect out of the book. So yeah, this is great. And in this way we're gonna start with the first pattern, which is the block party throw, which I have blue rectangles in it. Yeah, and this is actually a really basic mosaic pattern, which can really apply to a lot of things. It's really a very useful pattern to use in many ways, and honestly also not that hard to make. She made it with Streepjes Color Crafter, which is an acrylic yarn, which is also great. I'm really also interested if this is photographed in her own living room. I don't know. This is all pattern stuff, so we're gonna skip it. Here you have an overview of the throw itself. And she also gives you any inspiration on a different colorway, like this is a very dark one, but she also has a very bright one, which also gives you a very good idea of what a different color would do to this pattern, and that's really great. Well, the second, oh no, there is a spin-off project, and that's what she has done to all her patterns in the book. You have the same pattern, only worked in a different way, and she made a tea lover's tea cozy, which is probably a tea cozy, which is a kind of bag which you put around your tea pot to keep the tea warm. A very English thing to do, I guess. But it's really fun because the pattern gets multiverse in this way. As well, you can make a throw, but you can also make other projects with it, and this is what I meant by it's a very basic pattern to use, as you can definitely apply a pattern like this to a different way of creating something with it. So this is also, she also has written down everything about it. The second pattern is the Thartantastic Throw, which is a really hard word, but it means, of course, it's definitely an inspiration on a tartan, which is, if I'm correct, a Scottish, or maybe, no, I think it's Scottish, a Scottish blanket with iconic stripes and squares. And she created this with the Mosaic Crochet as well, which is actually a really good idea. I really love it. Yeah, so, and then you can create something like this. She created with Chunky Monkey, which is an Aran worst weight yarn, which is a bit thicker, but probably perfect for this one. And we're gonna skip ahead because we don't want any pattern stuff in it. And here you have an overview, and again a different colorway, which by the way I really love this one as well, because these are real typical Scottish colors for me, although I see it's based on the Dutch painter Mondrian, which I also can rely to when I see this. It's really clever to do this. The spin-off project for this one is the Great Outdoors Picnic Set, which is actually really fun because, okay, this picnic set holds a handy carry handle for your mugs. Oh, this is really fun. You can create well, a picnic set, yes. So, third pattern in the book is the Bumblebee Throw. And the Bumblebee Throw is of course inspired on bumblebees. That's for sure. I really love this colorway, by the way. Also made with an Aran worst weight. Yeah, really lovely. Oh wow, look at the overview. In this way you can see how easy a geometric pattern can work out for you. And I see another colorway here. I will do this like this because you don't want to see the pattern. The Rainbow Days, which I actually love even more. Look how great this colorway is. Yeah, well. And the spin-off project for this pattern is the Dragonfly floor cushion, which I also really love. Look at the lovely greens in it. It's beautiful. And what is that blue drink? Very curious what that might be. She made this with Metropolis, sorry, which is a sock yarn actually. So in this way you can also see how perfectly each kind of yarn can be used and works out for crochet, Mosaic Crochet. Lovely. And the next pattern is the Diamond Throw, which is, as I can see, skill level is 1 ball of yarn, so it's probably the most easy one. Made with Color Crafter, which is an acrylic yarn once again. All kinds of fun stuff. But look at the overview on the throw, it's beautiful. It's really great. And there is once again another color suggestion. And the spin-off project is a fluffy diamond rug, which is actually a lovely rug for your bath, to lie before your bath, which is also perfect. Made with Aran weight once again, because you want a thick yarn if you make something like that. And then the next one is Cool as Flock Throw. Look at the beautiful jade colors. I really love this. Oh, she made it with Scheepjes Namaste, which is actually almost, it's a really thick yarn, really bulky. And let's see what she says about it. Oh, she based it on a flock wallpaper in every room from her grandparents. Oh, that's really an interesting story as well. So she honored this blanket to her grandparents Rosa and Ken. Oh, this is a really fun story actually. Beautiful, look at it, look at the colors. I love it. So, pattern stuff again. Oh wow, look at this. Beautiful, I really love this. And she actually has another new colorway, and I think she just made it a bit darker. And she says it's about reminding you to gothic horror stories. Well, you can indeed, it's get a bit darker and a bit spookier. So it's a nice suggestion to do this. The spin-off project for this one is the matching not matching cushions. Now she made two type of colors. Actually the same two colors are used, only in a reversed way. And then you can create a lovely cushion. Perfect idea. And then we have the Misty Mountain Throw, and this one we recognize for sure out of here. Misty Mountain Throw, I only love the name already. And this design pays homage to my first ever Mosaic Crochet pattern from a few years ago, the Diamond Heart Throw. This time round, though, it gets a half diamond twist, which turns the design into a beautiful reflected mountain peaks. Yes, indeed. You can see that. You can see that, right? Lovely mountain peaks. Here is a pattern again. And this is the overview. And here you see a totally different color theme for it. And the spin-off project is a handy little clutch, which is also a very handy thing to do and actually lovely as well. And as you can see, you put many things in your clutch. Then we have the floating points throw, which is actually all kind of dots. Yeah, this is also a very fun pattern. And here is your overview. You can see how the book is built up. You have content, an introduction to a pattern, you have the pattern itself, the written version plus a chart. There is the overview of a throw. There is a colorway in it, and different and alternative colorway. And then you get a spin-off project to also create with the same geometric pattern. This is the Yayoi Scarf. It's inspired by Japanese contemporary artist Yayoi Kusama, sometimes referred to as the Princess of Polka Dots. Oh, that's really interesting. I didn't know that. Everything Japanese, it's really in my favorite. Great one. Then we have the Sunspot Throw in really neon pink, and this is also, which is definitely an Esme thing, because she is always using neon colors, and that's what I also love about. I really feel that this is her style as well, to take very bright colors and create the most magnificent geometric things with it. Something I never would do so easily, because I'm always like, okay, well, tone it down a little. But I really admire Esme for her use of neon color. And it works out perfectly, as you can see in this Sunspot Throw as well. Look at this overview, how lovely neon pink can look. And there's also another colorway in, I guess, I don't know which yarn this is. Let me see. Well, I don't know, but this is a real retro version, like with browns and whites. And the spin-off project is a fancy footstool, which also gives a lovely idea to use the pattern. And then we have the Hill Kill Throw. And where is that based on? Of course it is based on a green lifestyle, a vegetarian lifestyle learned from parents. So it's definitely a natural theme. I really love this one as well. Look at the little leaves on this blanket and how lovely this throw can look onto your bed. Yeah, it's really great. Look at this overview, and the little tassels on the blanket also gives a lovely suggestion. We have also a very, well, what is it? A kind of autumn look on this one. And the spin-off project is a table runner, which is also a great idea to use. This next project is the Into the Trees Throw. I really love the names of these patterns as well. Well, of course, this is all about the trees, that's for sure. Made with Namaste once again, which is very bulky, chunky yarn, but it really works perfect for this kind of patterns, definitely. And look at this outro. I really love the combination of the rustic color with the misty green. It's almost like a very autumn-based project. but you also can play with this kind of, here she explains a little about ombre yarns, so taking different shades of colors which give you an ombre type of color change between the pines. So very good tip as well. And we have an evergreen vase, a spin-off project, which is probably very handy for winter, as you can definitely light up a candle in it and have a great little light into your living room. But she also used in the summer as a base to put in some herbs, as I can see. And then we have the Dutch houses throw. And for sure this is definitely about my country, the Netherlands. And she also made this for sure about Amsterdam, the canal houses, and she also writes down here it reminds her of the wonderful trips to the Netherlands. She met up a few times with the Scheepjes team and enjoy a cheese fondue or two in extremely good company. Well, yeah, it's really lovely done. I can only tell this is almost part of a heritage for me. Like, yeah, you definitely recognize immediately what it is all about, and I really love how she did it. Yeah, great job done, definitely. Look at the overview, it's lovely. And she really made the new colorway perfectly, because it's almost like Delft's blue, which we have a lot of porcelain out of. It would really be a good theme as well to create it in a Dutch vibe. So perfectly done. And the spin-off project is a neon street wall hanging. Well, it almost, the neon pink is here once again, but it also would be a great reference to the red light district in Amsterdam. Although this is pink, but it's a very well neon colored section of Amsterdam for sure, and well, everyone knows what happens there, but it would be a great alternative way to put it in that respect. Once again, so the next pattern is the Yes Throw, and this one I have seen many times on social media, because it's really screaming out yes. And this blanket is all about positivity and an explosion of words for sure. And you have to see this pattern in a way like, okay, yes, it can be encouraging, inspiring, and especially positive. So the message of this blanket is amazing already. And once again, she used a lot of bright colors, which works fine. And here you have the overview. I really can imagine this would look great into a child's room or a girl's room, because this is typical also a blanket which could really work for the younger adults around us, for your children or whatsoever. And for sure we also have a more toned version. The side project is a rainbow tote, which I really love as well. It looks really great, and a great way to use the pattern as well. Well, and then we are at the back of the end of the book, because the yes, yes, yes was the last pattern in it, and then she also has some basic crochet techniques in the book taken in, which is of course a thing which belongs to a crochet book. It explains the general stitches used and how to make a pom-pom. And then there is Esme with, if I'm correctly, this is her cat, and Hank, yeah, her cat Hank Deluxe. Really fun. Look at her social media. Hank is popping up a lot, and yeah, it's a really great book. It's really lovely. It's definitely an Esme book, that's for sure. And it's perfect to use for anyone who wants to discover crochet mosaic, but also just a not too hard and difficult book to start crocheting a different technique once again. Yeah, so this is the book. I'm really happy with it. And now I think it's time to also show you how this Mosaic crochet technique is done, which I'm gonna show you for sure. I'm gonna give you a startup to show you how it works to crochet the rows back and forth with the same color and then the next color. But I'm not gonna crochet a whole pattern out of it in front of the camera, because I don't want to give away any patterns in it. For that you really have to purchase the book. A very good thing to tell you is this book is from now on also available in Dutch. So here's a Dutch sentence. Lieve mensen, het boek is ook in Nederlands verkrijgbaar nu. Dus als je het een mooi boek vindt, het is ook in onze taal verkrijgbaar. So that was a message to all my Dutchies out there. So I think this is it. I will show the technique now, and I have decided to, as we at the moment we are in an autumn here in the Netherlands, it would be great to crochet some leaves in a very autumn color. So that's what I'm gonna do. But for sure, I don't want to show the pattern. So I'm gonna take my balls of yarn and a crochet hook and show you. Whoa. I have to organize this here. Let me see. I don't want any. Yes, this is great. In this way you can't. Okay. So I have chosen two very contrast colors in this way. They match perfectly, definitely because it's autumn, and these are definitely autumn colors. But in this way you can definitely see the difference between the geometric pattern building up. And if you would only take two dark colors, you never would see the pattern coming out, and that's the same for two very bright colors. So take a dark color and a bright color, as it works the perfect way. I'm gonna just show a small swatch out of the leaf pattern, how it is done and how it works. So let's start with the darker color. For sure. And you always start with just some chains. Let me see. Yes, I'm very good to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, this is my swatch. I'll make one extra chain to start with, and the first row is just one of single crochets, or in UK double crochets. Very important to know, because the book is definitely written in UK terms, so make sure not to forget it, because otherwise your work will look totally different if you mess up with the abbreviations. You would get out a total different result, which you don't want. In the meantime, I'm just crocheting the first stitches of this this whole pattern, and we have to set up a thing. This is always the base foundation round, actually, which also starts in one color, and after that you're gonna start making the actual technique to crochet a geometric pattern in it. So it takes a little moment to start with. Let me see. Yes. This is not definitely not important to because it's just the same stitch all over. It's not really important to see this. But with this mosaic technique of interlocking, you actually crochet each row twice in the same way, forth and back. So it also means like this first base row of single crochets, double crochets, UK, is also done twice because you want the same size of rows in every way. So we're turning, we're making a chain, and just crochet the same row of single crochets, double crochets in UK back, because you want to have your thread also at the same side of the pattern once again when you pick it up later on the next row. And this is actually how it will be done all the way with all the rows in the book. You definitely crochet the same pattern over and over twice. Okay, let me finish this one and then you will see what I mean. And the fun thing is, in this way you don't have to work away that many ends to weave in, because you can leave the balls of yarns attached to the work and pick them up in a later row, just to start a new row. So there is no need to cut off any ends, which makes it also a really fun technique, because there are not that much ends to weave in, and that's a really good thing. So, well, we have done 2 rows, and my way of leaving a ball of yarn attached to the pattern is just pull it through a loop and close it, and in this way the yarn is still attached, but you don't have to do a thing about it. And then we take the next color, and in that color I can show you what we are gonna do actually in the mosaic interlocking technique from this book. So let's attach the new yarn to it. And let me see, this one needs a little tighten up. So let's start in the first stitch. I'm also looking at the pattern at the moment, so if I'm quiet for a moment, I'm also reading out the pattern for my side. Let me see. Okay, so let's start. This is the first stitch. It's a single crochet, and in the book it's a double crochet because we are working in UK terms once again. Now we're gonna skip the next stitch, and Esme is holding a chain 2 or 2 chains for skipping 1 stitch, or at least every part she skips on a row she gives an extra chain, which I'm not used to, but I can imagine it works better because the blanket won't have a very heavy tension. It gives the blanket once again some more stretching. So a chain 2 and skip a stitch, and then we need to make 3 double crochets in the UK terms, which we are gonna do. Yes, and then we need to make 8 chains and skip 7 stitches. Well, this is what I meant, like you skip 7 stitches but you make 8 chains, so you give an extra chain to a skipped section. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so 8 chains, and on 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 6, 7, and then once again you make a single crochet. Okay, let me see, then it's once again a chain 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then it's once again skip 7 stitches, 2, 4, 6, 7. And now I'm gonna do it a bit differently because I'm just making a swatch, so I will not continue on with the pattern because you would repeat things in the pattern. But as you can see, you skip sections in it. And now the fun thing is, this is actually this row. We're gonna do the exact same way, but then on the wrong side of the pattern. So we're gonna turn by making a chain, and then we're gonna make the exact same stitches in the stitches we already made. So you make double crochets and double crochets. I'm just talking in UK terms once again here to follow the book. And when you enter a chain section, you make the same amount of chains. So there are 8. We once again make 8. And where there is a double crochet again, you also make a double crochet. And again, chain 8. So and then we have once again double crochets to work in, and then we enter a chain 2, and we make a chain 2 once again because it was already there, and we end with a double crochet once again. And then we are at the end of the row once again, and as you can see, we actually did the same thing twice, but one time the right side and the second time at the wrong side. So this is what I meant by creating a different type of crochet mosaic, because this is needed to create this pattern, and you're gonna do this at all times. Let me secure the second color before I lose it. Okay, let's get back to the right side of the work. Well, this is the right side, sorry. We're gonna pick up the darker color, and that's not really hard to do if I can get the yarn. Once again, put your hook in the first stitch and just wrap around a loop, and there is your other color once again. So this is the first stitch once again, and it's very easy now because you're gonna work stitches around same colored sections. Let me see. So what we are gonna do is actually, I'm reading the pattern once again, so I'm sure to not make any mistakes. You're gonna make a treble crochet in UK, a double crochet in US. There are chain spaces here, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna work in the same colored stitch under it, so you get these chain spaces behind your work, and in this way you can work over the chain space, which may result in this way. Yes, so it's actually your double treble crochet is in front of the chain spaces. Well, then you continue on, but we need to make 2 chains once again, because here is coming another lighter contrast color once again, and we make 2 double crochets in the next one. Right on. Okay, now we have those 7 skip stitches, and you're gonna do it once again. You're gonna make all kinds of double crochet, you're gonna make double crochets or treble crochets in UK into those skip stitches, and you keep those chain spaces behind your work to make sure you work over them. And in this way it makes it actually really simple to do this. and it's really not that hard because you only have to know how it works. So yeah, one more. Yes, and then we have a single crochet again where we also put a single crochet in, or a double crochet in UK. And as you can see already, you're gonna, in this way, you're gonna create some geometrical shapes and borders already. Then we are gonna work double crochets once again, treble crochets in UK. As you can see, it's actually really, if you have chain spaces which you encounter, it's almost all the time working in front of them with another color. So it's not that hard. If you do this a few rows, you already know what the meaning of it might be, and you'll get this into your system soon enough. So don't think it's that hard. And if you have encountered here and we don't want to close it the same way as we did, well, as you can see, you made a row. Then your front side may look like this, which is the way it's supposed to look. In this way, I'm not gonna crochet this any further. You have seen the most important about it, how this might look, and maybe I didn't do this totally the right way because I'm just showing you how the technique is done. Don't pay attention to if I put the stitches in the totally correct way through a pattern, because I'm just reading a pattern and explaining things at the same time, so I might did do something not exactly the right way, but you have the idea of how the treble crochets are worked in front of in previous rows, and how the chain spaces work between skipping stitches. And as you can see, if you give one chain extra to a skipped section, it delivers the same stretchy work you want to, and otherwise the tension would get too heavy. In this way you can crochet every pattern in this book, and it gets really well, easy actually. If you have done a few rows, you definitely know how to work it. So I only can say go explore this book. I hope you have some help about my little explanation of the Mosaic crochet technique, and if that wasn't clear enough, for sure Esme has written down very good instructions about it, so it doesn't matter if you didn't understand a word of what I'm doing here, because the book tells you as well. And go explore Mosaic Crochet Workshop if you already didn't. The book is already out for a few months now. The Dutch version is recently published, so maybe it's for the Dutchies out here. It's really important and very handy to discover this book once again. I hope you liked this little video about this little review about this book, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.